Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Left my glass. Hello, y'all. Welcome to Transformational Tip Tuesday. I'm your host, Leanne Ely. You knew that, right? This is the Daily Dish where we help you to transform each and every day. That's right, because we bring vibrancy back into your life, heart, mind, and body and soul. And I'm so glad you're here. I see my girl Amber showing up and saying hello, which is great. Appreciate that. And I appreciate when you say hello. Hello, Denise. There's everyone. Carla is here. Jenny's in the house. Hello. Come on in. Are you excited about today? I am always excited about today. Every single day that I wake up and put my feet on the floor, I know and expect that it's going to be a great day. Don't you, Helen? Good to see you. Anyway, yep, we're putting vibrancy back in, and I've got a great quote for you that's going to kind of help that right along. There's my girl Lizzie. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid of standing still. I see Catherine there. Good to see you, Catherine. And I know I just missed somebody. I'm sorry, whoever you was that I missed. Marianne, good to see you. Martha's in the house. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Really good to see you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about connection and how connection's the connector. Do you like that one? Hi, Kimberly. Good to see you. I will tell you, there's my girl Diane and Mary. I will tell you what, these connection things that we're talking about, you are going to be able to see how all of these things are, I don't even know another word for it, connecting all the dots. Really, they do. And when we can feel the connection, see the connection, and make the connection, things start to really, really change. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Angie's in the house too. I'm glad to see that. And there's my girl Gwen. InflaCrusher is our supplement of the week. Now, our supplement of the week, you cannot lose with the supplement of the week. You are essentially going to get one free. It's super easy to do. Go to savingdinner.com/show. Now, you put 4 in your cart. It's essentially like putting 3. That's all you're going to be charged for is the 3, right? And we'll ship them to you free. This is the only way you get the supplement of the week. You can try it for 1, but you're not going to get free shipping or anything, okay? I'm just telling you about it because InflaCrusher is a game changer. This is what we use in our house for aches and pains and headaches and all of that other kind of stuff. The Advil, the Tylenol, or whatever. We have a bottle of Advil I'm probably going to have to throw away because it's expired. It's coming up on its expiration. We don't use it anymore. This is how effective this stuff is. So check it out. This is the time to stock up. Go get it, savingdinner.com/show. This is where the needle moves on your pain equation. You know, we all have pain, don't we, from time to time? A little ache, a little pain, a little this, a little that. This is how we take care of it. We had our hydration webinar last night. Who was there? Who was there? Pinkies up if you were there. We had a great time, always great questions. You know, I will tell you, our webinars are a place of connection. And I just love it when you show up. And even if you can't, you can always get the replay. Go to savingdinner.com/station because we start our hydration challenge next Monday. And this is an educational webinar that's going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to leverage hydration. Because hydration is just not about drinking a bunch of water and going to the bathroom all the time, right? I mean, come on. Do you know, I mean, don't we, this is the thing that we have this hatred about drinking all that water. We know we should, but nobody wants to spend that much time in the bathroom. Well, there's a few things that you need to know about. There's some other things that we plug into the equation. Plus, I'm going to show you why being dehydrated, even just a little bit, might be the reason why you're stuck on a weight loss plateau. You know, it creates weight loss resistance. So if we want to get away from that, we've got to get into hydration. It's everything. savingdinner.com/station. It'll take you right over there to sign up for the webinar, and you can see all the stuff and read all the things. Take some notes, because it will light you up. I mean, connections, right? That's what we're all about, is making those connections. So I told you about InfoCrusher. What else do I need to tell you about? Oh, the mugs. Hello. Are they not the cutest? We're already getting rave reviews. Don't get mad about the results you didn't earn from the work you didn't do. What? This was a truth bomb that hit me like a cosmic 2x4, and it just had to be on the cup. Had to. And especially when it's this happy yellow. On the back, you get Mindful Mug, Pinkies Up Cup, and of course, savingdinner.com. You can find these at savingdinner.com/mug. You can just buy it outright if you want it. I don't blame you. They're always limited editions, by the way. You can add this to your collection, or you can buy $100 worth of goodies and get it for $5, or spend $200 taking advantage of our supplement of the week and buying whatever else you need and get the mug for free. There's a code there, savingdinner.com/mug. Read the post too that goes with it, because this is a mindful mug. Okay, it's mindful. It helps us to be mindful. Have you noticed what happens when you're not mindful? You know, we go to mindless. There's mindful over here, there's mindless over here, and mindless has yet to serve us, has it? No. Mindless puts us in the place of, oh my gosh, I gotta start over, and here we go again, right? And it's frustrating. But when we're mindful, that's the needle mover. That's when things change. This is what this mug is about. Also, we're going to be talking today about setting up our environment for success. How do you like that? Our environment creates success. Hey, there's our girl Norma. Everybody say happy birthday to Norma. It's her birthday. And I'll tell you what, she posts a picture every day. She is such an encouragement. And I want to say thank you, Norma, for being such an encouragement. She posts a picture every day and some little love button type of happy thought or scripture or whatever it is that she posts. It's just fantastic, and it's every single day. And she shows us her consistency. She's getting results. She had some great information there, and I'm just so thrilled to have Norma in our midst. I'm thrilled to have you in our midst. You know, I will tell you right now, one of the biggest connectors for me, one of the biggest connections that has just changed my life in 2020 is definitely having this community. Because we need this connection. You know, we're not meant to do this in isolation and by ourselves. We need each other. And this kind of connection is so critical and so important. So, you know, give Norma a shout out. She does her part to lift us all up and encourage us. And I just say thank you to that. Thank you for that, Norma, and happy birthday. You deserve a fabulous one. Yay for Norma. Yes, Mary Frances, I agree with you. So I also want to tell you about our quote deck, because today we're going to be talking about making connections. And one of the biggest connections that we can make is with our environment. When we make a good connection with our environment, and our environment is here to support instead of tear us down, we start to move the needle a lot in our lives. Have you noticed that? I surely have. I've seen that on repeat. I've seen that, you know, and at first it can be a little bit, you know, hard, maybe. It's a little bit of a struggle, or you're jonesing for that food that you always used to keep in the house that you swore you weren't going to eat, but you eat anyway. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to be talking about this because this is such a needle mover, and when we set our environment up for our success, we win. We continually win. And I will tell you just my own personal story of just having a vibrant vision board, for example, where that vision of what it is that I wanted was always in front of me. It wasn't until I really connected with it, I mean, for real connected with it, and stopped thinking about the house, stopped thinking about, well, that's going to be hard, you know, and having all the things going on, and just connecting with, yep, that's it, that's what I want. Well, I'm sitting in the house that I got because of that connection. I mean, all the house came later, but the connection was first. You're going to see how incredible this is, and I hope you take notes today. So we have this thing. One of the things that we do is we have this lovely quote deck that we've made of favorite quotes that you've all enjoyed over the last couple of years. And you know, we do a new quote of the week, and I always write it on the back of an envelope in my own writing just to put it out there. But now we have them in these fabulous cards. So check this out. This is one from Dolly Parton. We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. Dolly Parton, so wise. Here's another one from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's one of my favorite quotes. But there's a whole bunch of them, 52 of them, and we give you this cool little stand so that you can put it on your desk and you can look at it regularly. As we look at things that are made to change our mind, made to make us think, we start to make little teeny tiny adjustments. And we're going to be talking today about synaptic pruning. Doesn't that sound scary? You're going to love it though, because to me it was just like, yes, man, I get this. I get this. Whether we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong, the amount of work is the same. Boom! That was the Cosmic 2x4, by the way. So don't forget, you also get this little stand. You can find these at savingdinner.com/quote. And don't forget, if you order 2, which by the way, Valentine's Day is coming up, you get free shipping as well. So these are darling and limited amount. They're flying out the door, so take advantage of all of this. And this Friday, who's coming to the pajama party? We're actually gonna have a pajama party, y'all. We're gonna have a pajama party. We're gonna show our vibrant vision boards. We're gonna do all kinds of things in order to lift each other up and to be in community. It's free, it's fun, and I don't want you to miss out. Go to savingdinner.com/PJS. That's PJs, because we're gonna be wearing our pajamas. And we're gonna be having wine. I'm gonna have a glass of wine that's bigger than my head. Yes, because I've been dry for a very long time. Oh my goodness, after the vibrant detox, and we've been getting people, you guys are just nailing this thing. Doesn't it make you feel good? Lucy's gonna bring bells with her. All right, Lucy, I'm so excited about that. So we got everything, and don't forget also a couple of things that you can get the show notes. I always, the lesson or whatever it is, we always have a show notes. They come out in the newsletter the next day. Go to savingdinner.com and just fill out the little form so you get them. Those show notes are really good, and Amber does a terrific job on them. We love our Amber, and she does a great job on them and really helps us to really make sure that that message is impactful for you. So take advantage of that. Also, if you have questions, everybody has questions. If you have like a nutritional question, a cooking question, or whatever it is, send it in to support@savingdinner.com with question for Leanne on Friday, and we will handle it. We will take care of that for you. There's Joanne. I knew you were here, Joanne. Anyway, good to see everyone. You all are so fabulous. There's my girl, Jean. And I wish I could say hello to every single one of you. I know I only got a few of you, but every single one of you means something to me. Today, we had the holiday, and so we had a stack of all the little packing invoices and everything. And I just want you to know, part of my connection with you is praying for each one of you as I write on every single one of those invoices and say thank you for your order. I do not take it for granted. I never will. I never will. Great appreciation for the way you support this small women-owned business. Not only that, but also just that knowing that as you're taking these supplements and doing the things that you need to be doing, that we are having an impact on your life as well as you having an impact on ours. I never take that for granted. And I just want you to know that when you see that note from me, it's personal, it's to you. It's not a blank note, it's to you. So I love you and I appreciate it. I'm just gotta let you know because connection's everything, isn't it? And that's what we're talking about today. Connection is all the things. Without connection, we're isolated. Without connection, we're lone wolves. Without connection, we feel kind of desperate, don't we? We feel very alone. We feel like there's just, you're just this little Horton Hill, here's a who, you're just this little tiny speck on this huge big dot. And we feel insignificant. And this is why our connection is so important, especially right now, especially with all the stuff we're going on, within our world right now. But I want you to see how the connections and making connections establishes everything from habits to relationships to your any kind of anything. It's all about connection. And of course, belief follows connection, doesn't it? And belief also supersedes connection because it sets it all up. So let's talk about this, because the definition for connection is interesting to me. It's a verb, of course, and it's bring together into contact so that a real link is established to provide access. And what do we need access to? Well, we need access to interpersonal relationships, don't we? We need access to good food. We need access to water and to air and to a quality environment to support ourselves. We need access and connection to all of these things. So I'm talking kind of granularly today about connection, simply because that was my connection this morning as I was having my quiet time and going through and doing my reading and intentions and going through my goals and everything. I was just really looking at everything, and everything that I'm hopeful about, all the goals that I've made are all based on making a connection with it. And when we connect with something, we connect with it, and we always say this, heart, mind, body, and soul, because otherwise there is a disconnect. We can't completely embrace something when the rest of us is left behind. This is why I always say it's not just a matter of what your gene size is, it's a matter of your journey to get there. And your journey to get there is what's going to define and help you to create these amazing connections that are game-changing, life-changing. It really is that significant. So how do we connect? And the other thing too, besides all these connections, is it's a matter of connecting to and connecting with. So we connect to, my computer right now is connected to electricity, but I am right now connecting with you. So there is both involved here. There is the mechanics of connection, and there's also the heart-soul connection thing that goes on. And I want you to think in those terms, because we need both. That's part and parcel. We need to be able to connect with the mechanics, and we also need to connect heart, mind, body, soul. Because then that's when things start to change. That's when we start to grasp it, and that's when we start to embody it, believe it, and have it be something that shows up in our lives instead of something that completely frustrates us all the time. It's that significant. Now, here's something interesting. I read this today. An adult has 41 less synaptic connections in his brain than a newborn does. Doesn't it seem like it should be the opposite? Well, this is the interesting part, and this is what I'm talking about. This is this synaptic pruning thing that I'm talking about. Well, when we develop things in our brains, and you know this, I took piano as a kid. I took 5 years of piano. I got a little bit proficient, but not quite enough to get there. And as a kid, I wasn't exactly Johnny on the spot and practicing an hour every day. There was times I missed, and I always had to make excuses to my piano teacher and what have you, but I learned how to play the piano. 30 years later, I found a used piano when my kids were little, and bought it, brought it to the house, and sat down to play it, and it was just like, the disconnect was just terrible. And I remember thinking, well, I knew where all I knew I could do the scales, I knew where everything was, but I couldn't quite connect with it. This is because I didn't practice anymore. Think about the difference between me and a concert pianist. Who did the synaptic pruning? I did. I did the synaptic pruning. I kept a couple of basic things in my head. I could tell you exactly where C is on the piano keyboard, but a concert pianist has been practicing and practicing. The Oregon Trail in his head, that's that synaptic connection is strong. The Oregon Trail in my head, kind of broken up. So there's a big difference there. And synaptic pruning happens when it's, use it or lose it kind of a thing. This is why it's so important, especially with our elderly parents and what have you, to make sure that there's activity going on, because we don't want synaptic pruning happening, on the regular, just down to nothingness. We want to make sure that our brains, we synaptic prune when we sit in front of a TV, don't we? When we Netflix out and jam on our phone all day, it puts us in numb mode, and numb mode doesn't serve at all. But we're talking about cutting out the thing that maybe, with a synaptic pruning, cutting out the thing that doesn't get used for good reason and on purpose, but not necessarily, not necessarily to the place of cutting everything out, of course. What we need to do is be very selective about the things that we do connect with. And that requires us to be up here in the prefrontal cortex and making that definitive statement, that definitive declaration, if you will, that this is something that I want in my life. When it comes to habits, well, there's something big right there. So connections in your brain become stronger when you practice them. They just do, and it makes it easier. Synaptic pruning occurs when you don't do something for a long period of time. And those of us who've been in the place of working out, and then all of a sudden not working out, you got to kind of start over. But there is this one little thing that all I can say is praise God for, and that's muscle memory. We do have that, but that doesn't make it easy to get there. It just gives us a little bit of an advantage over somebody who's just starting over. So what is a strong connection in your life? Think about the habits in your life that are strong connections. I know for sure, for me, one of them is I have a strong coffee habit, a strong connection with coffee. I make my coffee first thing in the morning. It's ritualized, y'all, ritualized. I grind the coffee. I put the filter in and the coffee pot in. I grab water from my Berkey and put it in. I put a pinch of salt in the coffee grinds. By the way, that helps with bitterness because I drink my coffee black. And, the whole thing happens. It happens. Come hell or high water, there's never an opportunity in my household that we are out of coffee. I make sure of that. The coffee is always there. I even have a stash of ground coffee that, God forbid, the electricity should go out, and then I've got to pour over. I've got everything that I need in order to make sure that the coffee happens. Coffee is a strong habit, a strong connection for me after I don't even know how many years I've been doing this. Since the 80s when I started grinding my own coffee and almost ritualizing it. So that's a good, strong habit. So when we use an established connection to add a new behavior in, what do we call that? We call it piggybacking. James Clear calls it habit stacking, and so does BJ Fogg, who wrote a book called Tiny Habits. And that is adding something to something that's already established, adding something new to a real baseline habit. So for me, my coffee was just, it's not going to work. It's not going anywhere. It's going to happen. I wanted to create a brand new habit, and my brand new habit was doing the 4-minute workout to get things going. So I made my coffee habit to be my trigger so that I could do the 4-minute workout. Without the 4-minute workout done, I do not get a cup of coffee. So I've required a connection to a new habit and a reward for doing the new habit. Do you see how that all works out? I've talked about this before, but I think this is important to break it down and understand that the connection is the trigger, that the trigger is the connection rather to the established thing already. So another way that you can do this, and I'm showing you how to do this because I know that for some people that getting started with new habits is hard. It is hard. It's new. It's something it isn't an Oregon Trail yet. It's a brand new habit that needs to have basically be tethered to something that's already established. And in our perfectionism, in our glory, and in our whole idea, when we understand this, what we have this tendency to do? We have this tendency to say, well, if I can do this with one habit, I can do it with 10. And then we overwhelm ourselves and we just don't handle them. I would only say to maybe add 2 or at the maximum 3 spread out through the day to help you to remember. So a trigger or a cue then for me to do the 4-minute workout has been my coffee being brewed. I empty the dishwasher first because that is also established. Then I go right to the 4-minute workout. The coffee's already done. I race it. I race getting the dishwasher unloaded while the coffee is brewing because I don't know, I'm competitive with the dishwasher, I guess, but it's fun. And then I go to the place where it beeps, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's ready, but you can't have it until you've done this. And it's simple. But we also have to look at different things to remind us to be other cues in our life. So one of the things that I have done this year has been really a little bit more on point with my morning routine, my morning ritual. And that means that I review my goals. I read every day. I do my meditation first thing. And I also write in my journal. And I write out just a couple of what my goals are, just very simple, just to keep that in mind. Remember this, that there is a hand-brain connection. It goes right through your whole body. There's a big nerve there that it all connects to. And that helps you to remember. That helps you to place that in the prefrontal cortex, as opposed to just, forgetting about it and letting it go and going off and doing something that you don't want to do. And that's to create cues for these behaviors. So in my office here, I have over in this corner, I have a little chair and I have a little table with a lamp. And I'm really excited about this because I didn't have this in my old office because I had all my gym stuff everywhere. And now I've got a little tiny room. Believe me, it's a tiny room. I don't know how everything's going to fit, but that's coming up. But over here, I put on purpose, because I'm trying to keep things neat and tidy, except for my research table, which is always a disaster. But I keep things over there. And at night when I leave and close down my office, I place my journal, the book that I'm reading, and my ear pods on a pile on the seat of my chair, because that is my cue. As I walk into the office, I see that first because it's out of place, and it reminds me to sit down and to get a lot more consistent with my morning routine, my morning ritual. I'm pretty consistent with it, but there's always something that gets in the way. But I realize and recognize too, going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time really helps to really ritualize that. So look at those kind of things. These are the things that we can do easily to help us to establish these connections to these habits that we want in our lives, so that we can move the needle forward. So same thing with working out. Another thing, I haven't done this yet, but I was like thinking about how I want to do my workouts a little bit earlier than I've been doing them, because it's just been a little bit too haphazard. So I've got two things that I've been doing. And one is, and it's in my planner, so I know, set up my routine, what I'm going to do the next day, because on my app, it has a way to stack your workouts, which is fabulous. So I get to do that, and I set that up. And I'm moving all of my workout clothes downstairs. I've got a little plastic, those you've seen them, the Rubbermaid like chests of drawers. They're really pretty crappy, but they'll hold things. I can put on the top, I can put my socks. In the middle, I can put tops, and then the leggings on the bottom. Put that all downstairs so I don't wake up Mark. You see how this all works? You start to connecting with the reasons why you don't. You ask yourself the questions. What's standing in the way? Well, I don't want to wake up Mark. Why do you have to have your workout clothes in that dresser? You don't. Move them. Now, these are all examples that I'm giving you out of my life. You've got examples in your own life of things you can do to just make those little tiny refinements, so that now you can trigger a new habit. Now you can have a cue to piggyback on a habit and really make those strong connections. We're all about connections. Without connection, we feel isolated. Without connecting to the habits that we have and the habits that we want to have in our lives, we don't make them. We don't make them, and then we feel frustrated and thinking everybody else is getting all this, all this success in our lives. Why am I not? Well, it's making sure that we have highly actionable cues in our lives, setting ourselves up for success constantly. Take this thing out, put it away, add this thing in to remember. It's simple. Write them out, and write out some of these things. Like, write down all of the things where you're frustrated on one side of the page, and then on the other side of the page, think about what triggers can I use, how can I connect, what cues can I use in order to connect with the habit that I want in my life. Isn't that just so fabulous? I think this is the kind of stuff that is, It's very doable. And it keeps us in the place of knowing at any time we can connect with the stuff that means something to us if we simply set up a different environment. We need supportive environments, you know? I've talked to a few people who've had unsupportive environments in their household, like they have a pantry full of stuff that they just, you know, it's causing issues and it's causing snacking to happen and eating stuff that they don't want, and it's showing up in blood tests, it's showing up on their waistline and all of that. And I've done this over and over again with different coaching clients, and that is to go through your pantry and to talk about triggers and cues, to get yourself some little sticky notes and put whatever issue it is that you're fighting on that sticky note. And you could even do it in just kind of a secret code if you want, if you don't want the whole family to know, and just go ahead and plaster them all over the stuff that you're not supposed to touch. You know, on the chips, you put BP for blood pressure, or on the, you know, cookies or whatever it is that you're eating, just put waistline, or whatever your waist, put 35 inches because you're trying to get below 35 inches. Whatever it is to trigger and to cue a new habit, because your environment is everything. Willpower is bunk. If we relied on willpower, you know, and just read all the stupid magazine articles about having such great willpower. Willpower is overrated. Environment is where it's at because it sets you up for success. You read the quote, you know, you've got your quote deck out, you read the quote, you've got your journal open, you're reading your goals, you're writing about them, you've got cues set up all over the house, and you've got things that support your environment so that you can get ahead and get the success that you want. You need to be specific, you need to be intentional about it, and you need to do it on a regular basis. This is part of what you do. Make yourself a checklist if you need to. But the whole point of it is, this is going to make you feel good, it's going to make you feel accomplished, and it's going to help move the needle to creating the exact habits that you want in your life. Just don't pile on. Make it simple, get them established, and then move to the next thing. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about boundaries, because wise women have boundaries, and there's boundaries that we need to put on our habits, our environments, everything. Because if connection is everything, right, and it is, then boundaries are the things that help us to not bleed into everybody else's lives and keep ourselves whole so we don't lose ourselves in the process. We're going to talk about that because it's a big, big thing and something that I've been writing about in my journal, and I want to share that with you. So I'm excited about that. Don't forget about our supplement of the week. It's InflaCrusher. You can get 4 of these for the price of 3, just simply by going to savingdinner.com/show. Don't forget about our pajama party. Don't forget about don't forget also about our hydration challenge that starts next week in the Hot Melt Sprint group. It's absolutely free, and it's going to help you get your water on point and all of your hydration on point. There's a bunch of stuff to that. You can watch the free webinar by going to savingdinner.com/station and get all the goodies. Thanks for showing up today, and thanks for sharing this video, and thanks for being a part of our community, because you're everything. You are my connection, and I hope I'm yours. I appreciate you so much. Peace be with you. Bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.